my friend, to Behind the Spotlight podcast. I'm your host, Danielle J. Martin, and welcome to another edition of Mindset Monday. On this week's Mindset Monday, we're going to be discussing a mindset shift, a couple of mindset shifts that you should be considering or having throughout the year in 2024. Also, I will be kind of explaining a little bit about where these mindset shifts came from, kind of an overlap from last year, kind of diving into the things that I've learned and tapping into even the knowledge that I've been receiving already in 2024. So I'm super excited to just jump right into today's episode. And honestly, I have to first give credit to a podcast that I've been listening to, because you guys know that when you tap in here, I'm going to always drop some resources for you, but I'm just going to give this plug already because I like to give credit when it's due. So, and also sometimes when I get ideas, inspiration, or any type of motivation, I like to always credit the source of where I got it from. Just so you know, because I believe that's the best way to win, right? Is just to share your resources, share where you got your ideas from. I believe that sometimes all of your ideas just don't come from you. Like, they naturally just come from hearing something, or you're inspired by where you heard it, and that's all right. So I was listening to Powerhouse Women. Shout out to the founder of Powerhouse Women, Lindsay Shorts. If you have not tapped into Powerhouse Women, the podcast, I highly encourage you to do so. It is so powerful because, honey, Lindsay Shorts is always dropping gems. She's always sharing her knowledge, and even too where she gets her resources from as well. But I will say I give so much credit to her. I've been listening to her for the last 6 months. And just within the podcast, me just tapping in, I've already been inspired to go be a part of her conference that's coming up in August in Arizona. So if you want to come with me, just let me know. But she's always just sharing really good, intelligent, and mindset shifts advice when it comes to just becoming the better version of yourself. It's not easy. It's not easy to just say, you know what, one day I'm going to wake up and change a habit, right? It really takes time. And so she's always just sharing the knowledge of where she got her mindset shifts coming. She's always sharing the knowledge of where she got her mindset shifts from. And it's just powerful. I truly enjoy it. And you're going to enjoy it too, because honey, let me tell you, I'm always taking away something. It's so good. But before we get there, I want to ask you a question. And obviously, if I'm sharing something with you, it's 9 times out of 10 something that I'm dealing with. It's something that I'm in the process of, or I possibly have overcame it already, and I just want to share it with you. So the question I have for you today is, have you ever had a feeling of guilt for wanting more in your life, for your personal growth, for your family? Have you ever had any guilt for wanting more? Now, I will raise both of my hands in the air and say, yes, I've had guilt sometimes for wanting more. And so I was kind of um really tossing with this question, because I'm in a space where if I am feeling any type of emotion that is triggering something in me to either draw back to a old habit, or is triggering an emotion in me that's making me think a certain way, in a way that I really don't find it abundant. It's maybe fearful, or it's negative thoughts. I, in that moment, ask myself, why do you feel this way? Why do you feel a feeling of guilt? Why do you feel fear? What are you ashamed of? I really try to get to the core root. And I say that because like many times we maneuver in life just, this is how I feel, and we just hope or wish someone is going to acknowledge us, or we hope that someone is going to comfort us when we don't even know ourselves why we are feeling that way. It's a spiked emotion that comes upon us, and we are immediately feeling shame or fear or disappointment or discomfort. But I challenge you, anytime that you have an emotion that sparks or triggers an old habit, or old thinking or negative thinking, I challenge you to ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this sense of guilt? So going back to this question, and I was really trying to, discuss it with my partner, and he gave obviously some really good tips and nuggets about maybe it's this or maybe it's that. I tapped into Lindsay's episode, Powerhouse Women, and she talks about this. And immediately, it was like, one of those things where you're like searching for, a clue or just waiting for God to give you a sign, or you're just waiting for him to speak to you in a different way, which by the way, I know he speaks to me through people. And different ways, whole nother subject. But she said that when the feeling of guilt arises, it has possibly something to do, or it's telling you that it's a sign that you are ready to move forward, or you're ready to move into a new level of your life, of career, of success. It is basically like a nudge that you feel like you're ready to move forward, but you feel guilty that maybe the people around you, or maybe the circumstance or the environment you're surrounded in a space where you have not seen people around you achieve it yet. And so this sense of guilt comes over you because you are wanting more for your life, but you're unsure if the people around you want the same thing, or your proximity of people that you are striving to be around is not currently in your atmosphere. It's currently not in your environment. You cannot physically see it. And so you feel this sense of guilt or fear coming over you because perhaps that you're afraid that wanting more or achieving more is going to leave people out, or the sense of wanting more means that you are not grateful for what you have. And immediately I just said, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been searching for. This is exactly what I've been trying to figure out. And so when I heard these words, I just said, oh my gosh, first of all, thank you, God, for speaking to me, because this is everything that I need right now. And what I love is that Lindsay literally unraveled this feeling of guilt, of knowing that, hey, if you feel this way, perhaps, again, it goes back to you don't have people in your environment, in your sphere, that is showing you that this is the next level of success, of life, of career that you want. You've never seen it achieved around you. A part of you feels like guilty, and a part of you feels like, well, does this mean that I'm ungrateful? And it's like, no, it doesn't. It is okay that you are wanting more. If anything, it shows gratitude that you are literally saying that, you know what, I have achieved all the way up to the level that I can achieve by myself with resources. But now I see another vision of me, or I see another vision of me collaborating with another group of women. I see another space or vision of me operating in a new abundance, operating in a new space where, like, I see a new level of me having a different type of financial security. I see myself seeing my business succeed and scale to these new ventures. I see my personal growth, or the way that I see my highest version of myself is this person not feeling defeat, this person not feeling fearful of striving to wanting new things. That's the next level for me. And so maybe you are in a space where it's uncomfortable because you're unsure how to move forward. You don't have any examples around you, and what you're searching for is currently not in your point of view. So it's hard for you to move forward because you don't know how. And so now it's forcing you to step out of your comfort zone because you don't have the resources around you. So you are going to have to put yourself in a space where it's going to push you and challenge you to do something different, because you've never done this before. You've never been in a space of this type of abundance. You've never been to this new level. You've never been in this type of room. And so it's going to require you to come to the table or come into this room with different energy, with different habits. The way that you carry yourself has to be an abundant mindset. It has to be different, because if you come into new experiences and new atmospheres and new places with the old self, you're not going to be able to receive the blessing that is there for you. You're just not. And so I was wrestling with this. I'm like, why do I feel this way? And so I also heard too that there's something about the essence of, like, you feel guilty, and so you draw back. You start to, like, put yourself back. Like, I remember my friend used to say she used to come to the table with a group of people that she knows she could be at the table with. But then something in her said, you know what, maybe I need to lower my chair so I can give everyone in the room a space to speak. So I can give everyone in the room a chance to feel comfortable. Because if I come to the table with my fullest self, I might defend people. I might come to the table with new ideas, fresh ideas, and it might intimidate someone. But honey, I challenge you and I encourage you, first of all, I encourage you to no longer lower your chair for anyone else to feel comfortable, because you were called to be in that room. You were called to be in that friend group. You were called to start this business. You were called to scale and to speak and to do anything that you set your mind to. Whatever God is telling you to do, you were called to do that. But why do we feel afraid? Why do we get into these spaces where we self-sabotage ourselves? Because that's honestly what it is. And so honestly, I just want to say this is the Spirit speaking in me, you guys. I'm no longer looking at my notes at this point, but maybe this is just for me. And so, but I do believe it's for someone else out here as well. I do believe that this is for someone to know that you cannot lower your chair any longer. This new space, this new room, this new level that you are getting called to, you're there for a reason. You can't lower your chair so other people can feel comfortable. But more importantly, you can't self-sabotage yourself because you're afraid for wanting more. That is honestly what it is. Like, really. We are afraid to be successful. We are afraid to wanting more. We are afraid to say, yes, I do want financial security. I do want to scale my business to 6 and 7 figures. I do want to be able to have a healthy and an abundant family. We are afraid to say these things. And it's like, why? Because we are afraid to intimidate or lose the people around us. We are afraid that wanting more is going to require us to strip everything that we have currently. And that is what hurts. And really, where I'm trying to get you is to understand. One, you are not alone in feeling guilty. It's a natural feeling that anytime that you are wanting more for yourself, for your personal growth, for your business, for just your whole way of life, it is going to require you to sacrifice something that you have. Because sometimes, and I truly believe this, I truly believe that anytime, it's like, okay, I'll give this analogy because I've done this lately and I understand it. But I've done this thing where I'll go shopping for new clothes, right? And this is coming from a person that I used to be a hoarder. I used to like hoard every single thing that I got. Like, it was like, oh, this is so sentimental to me. I just want to hold on to it. Like, this is great. Like, this is for me, right? Until I literally would get to a space where I would receive a gift or I would get new clothes and my clothes would no longer, or I would get this new thing. And anytime I would try to place it in my closet, there was no room for it. None at all. And then there was a time where, well, multiple times, I'll be honest here, where I would get home sometimes and I kid you not, my entire closet, and I have pictures of it, my entire closet would be on the floor because the weight of what I was trying to put on the rack could no longer hold what I was trying to pack in there. And so it required me to literally strip away certain items, get rid of certain items, because, honey, half the clothes that you wear, I promise you, you don't even wear them. You don't. Okay, this is coming from a person that loves to get dressed up, and I promise you, you are wearing probably 10 to 15% of your closet right now. You're not even wearing everything, depending on the weather, depending on where you're located, right? Like if you're located in a place like Topeka, Kansas, like I'm wearing winter, one half of the year, the other half of the year, I'm wearing summer clothes. So about 20% of my clothes now has grown to winter clothes. And so I'm not wearing that 20, the whole year. I'm not wearing that. And so I've done this exercise that has been so liberating is anytime that I go shopping, anytime that I add new clothes to my closet, I have to get rid of clothes. Clothes that I have not looked at in the past year goes first. Clothes that I have not looked at in the past 6 months goes second. And then clothes that I have not looked at possibly in the last 3 months goes third. So that is honestly the way that I have stripped away certain things that has helped me to, one, not have my closet on the floor anymore, okay? And then because honestly, that was like really annoying, you guys. But two, it really does put you into a whole new perspective. Anytime God gives you something, he's requiring you to strip something else away. He's requiring you to sacrifice something else. He's requiring you to be okay with letting go because first of all, everything that you have is really not yours. It's for him. And so anytime that you find yourself attached to something, that's another episode that I have for you guys. Attachment. Ooh, that's going to be so good. Okay, but anytime you are attached to something, you are no longer in control. The thing that you are attached to is in control of you. And so you don't have any freedom in that space. And that's why I said it's a whole new episode because I want to come back. I want to come back to this mindset shift and how feeling guilty is okay, but you have to have the emotional intelligence to know, why am I feeling this way? Where does this feeling come from? How do I dig deep into this root of, okay, I'm feeling this way because I don't want anyone around me to think that I'm better than them. Of course not. You don't want anyone around you to feel that way. But maybe it comes from a space of communicating that because I promise you, you're probably the only person that feels that way. Maybe your friends are like, girl, we know you're going to do big things. Like, go ahead and do it, right? But if you do feel that way, communicate that. And honestly, people that really love you will understand. They will know and be like, yes, we see that for you. Now, depending on what the situation is, if you think that, you know what, I just feel guilty for wanting more financial security. Now, I understand that's like not something that everyone should know. But when you move forward into a new atmosphere, into a new sphere of abundance and success, it does require you to sacrifice. It does require a strip of something to leave. It's a part of the process. So what I really want you to take away from today is the mindset shift to have in 2024 is to get to the core of what you are feeling. That's number one. Anytime an emotion of fear, guilt, if you're uncomfortable, if you're afraid, anytime those negative emotions come inside of you, I want you to get to the core. Because in order for you to receive the abundance, in order for you to actually move forward, you have to address what you are dealing with, what is rising inside of you. And so the framework that I'm honestly working through and honestly working on in anything that I do, that I realize like I apply it in life without even realizing it. The number one thing that I do is get clear. I get super clear on if I'm working on a new project, if I'm trying to, let's say, work on breaking a new habit, I get clear. I literally journal and I write everything out. What am I trying to break? What is the goal for this project? I literally get so clear to the bones that I can't question the process of what comes about it because there's going to be times where defeat and discouragement and let's say that you're not motivated one day. When you remind yourself of the clear goal, it's easy to move forward. Okay. Second thing that I do is I make a plan. I make a plan of how am I going to make this happen? How am I going to break this habit? How am I going to start this new habit? How am I going to start this new project? Where is this project going to go? I get so clear on the plan, but also leave room for improvement. I also leave room for anytime I need to pivot throughout the project, or if something happens in this habit, like let's say you are working on going to the gym, but your circumstance of the weather is not allowing you to go to the gym, what am I going to do? Work out at home? Like, what is my plan B? So I make a clear plan A, and then I also underneath that make a plan B. And so with that, it has honestly helped me maneuver. Like, I didn't even realize like I was working on this framework and all of the things that I do. So I get clear, I make a plan, and then step number 3 is super easy. You obviously take action, right? You actually do it. Now, you may think, okay, well, step 3 is easy. I just take action, I just do it. No, I do it with intention. Okay. For example, today, this is a part of the plan. To do Mindset Monday has been a part of the plan. I'll be honest with you guys, and I wanted to share this, that today, showing up today was not easy. It is 3 degrees outside in Topeka, Kansas. Okay, I'll be frank, it is 3 degrees, and your girl does not handle snow very well. Okay, but my number one word and a part of the plan that I told myself that I wanted to commit to in 2024 was to be consistent. Okay, and anytime that I am consistent and I'm doing it and doing it with intention, it requires me to be present. And so I literally had to take a few minutes to get in today. I had to just sit with my thoughts. I had to pray a little bit. I had to really ask God to speak through me because everything in me does not want to show up today. So, how do I continue to move forward and do the plan and do the habit or break the habit with intention? What are you going to do? Because anytime that you commit to something, 9 times out of 10, you are going to come across an obstacle to really be tested if this is what you really want to do. It's a part of the process. I promise you, you listen to people that are successful, people that are achieving in their highest, all of them have come across so many barriers. They have come across so many things that have tried to stop them to see, do you really want it? Is this something that you really want to do? Right? Because I think that it's so easy to say, or to look at someone. It's so easy to look at someone and say, dang, they've done it. It looks so easy. Like, how do they do this so well and so consistently? Well, I promise you, 9 times out of 10, they have a team. So it's easy. If you are someone like me that is doing it by yourself, it may take a little time. And it's going to take a lot of self-talk. It's going to take a lot of trusting yourself through this process. Let's add that to the mindset shift of 2024. How are you working on trusting yourself through the process? I believe that starting to understand that trusting yourself should be the number one thing that we work on as humans. Because in the end, we can say that we trust ourselves, but if you trusted yourself well enough, you wouldn't be fearful of anything. Once you have certain challenges or obstacles arise, you have to be prepared, right? And so that's the whole significance of this episode. It's the whole significance of having and understanding a mindset shift. Because truly, a mindset shift is reframing from the way we think about our lives and our goals. So, really understanding a mindset shift is reframing from the way that we think, that the way that our lives traditionally go. And so, anytime you're trying to break away from a habit or a traditional thought, it's going to take some work. It's going to take some time for you to really understand that in order for you to detach from this, you honestly have to break the habit of being yourself, which is another book, by the way. So there you go. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself is another book. I have not read it, but my partner has read it. It's a really good book, but it really talks about understanding your brain, understanding your the way that you think, the way that you feel. It's raising your emotional intelligence of who you are, right? It's a whole part of understanding how to literally have a mindset shift within yourself. So there's another resource for you. And if you have not gotten anything else from today, I just challenge you, my friend. I really challenge you to stop lowering your chair because you want to actually sit at the table. It is okay for wanting more. It is okay for striving for more. It is okay that you think and feel and want different things than your peers around you. It is okay, my friend. Okay? And so this is honestly why I myself is working on creating a safe space for women, for challenging the women around me, for pushing the women around me, because I want people like that to do that with me, honestly. And so the Elevation Network, the business that I was telling you guys about in the last episode, is going to be a private community for women to come together to share what we are really actually going through authentically. There is no right or wrong answers. It's no like we're going to gatekeep. No, we are letting it all out. But it's also not a venting session. I want to be clear. It's a very intentional group that we are going to be having experts and coaches and women that have already been to the spaces that we want to be at, but they're going to not come down, but they're going to come in the group and actually share the knowledge of how to either get there faster or their process. And that's going to be the beauty of it. The reason why I say it's private, it's because I know this group is not for everyone, and it's okay. But this is why I'm doing the podcast, because if you cannot, for some odd reason, not be able to make it into the group, you have an opportunity to stay connected to me because I'm always going to be sharing some really good knowledge with you guys, things that I've learned, things that I've been, taken away by. I'm going to always share it here. But most importantly, I share all of my good stuff really in my Inner Circle newsletter, okay? So if you were not signed up to that, I want you to go to www.daniellejmartin.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, and you will see that you will get access to my newsletter immediately, okay? You were the first to know about anything, which, by the way, if you have not heard already, Behind the Spotlight podcast had a opportunity to get featured in our local TK Business magazine. At the Core series is the new series that we kicked off this week, well, technically last week, and it was phenomenal. I will have an opportunity to sit down with leaders around Kansas and really get into who they are, what they do, and who they are behind the scenes at the Core. And so I'm super excited about that. You guys, honestly, even knowing an opportunity like that could come around was surprising to me. So I was super excited about that. If you have not checked out that episode, I highly encourage that you take a listen. It's going to be so good. We're going to be featuring a new leader every other month, so you have time really to catch up. But going back to the private community, I want each of you to know that you have an opportunity to be involved. And so we are going to be launching it here pretty shortly in the fall, which to me seems like around the corner, right? But we're going to be launching it pretty soon. And so if you want to stay connected and know and be the first to know, because there are going to be a lot of discounts for those who sign up first, you want to get inside that Inner Circle newsletter community, okay? But in the meantime, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you take something away from this, and I'll see you guys next week.